Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Nicolette Hodge. Welcome to We Reflect the Light. This is a continuation, part 2 of Victory is Ours, the rise of the original man and woman. Sisters and brothers, victory is ours. On part 1, we did a thorough walkthrough. It was very lengthy. Excuse me for the background. If you hear any background music, sisters and brothers, this is a result of loud music from somebody on this block or the block over. However, we're not going to let that stop us. So, in part 1, we did a thorough walkthrough identifying how these devils are trying to deal with us shrewdly from the unsealed scriptures. We identified our history, our vision, which is the Abrahamic covenant. We identified the war in the Middle East and the outcome, the economic collapse, false Israel's destruction, and how they have our identity. We identified the accuser of our brother, the chief demon Louis Farrakhan, who is totally against our vision and trying to get us to give up our covenant, trying to get us to give up our reward. We identified the famine that is soon to strike America and the shock that the emotional shock, the fear that will be affecting those right here in America and how it is that we are going to avoid that. And we ended with motivation and a highlighting our warrior queens, shown throughout the scriptures how our victory is written and what it is that we have to look forward to while overcoming these devils and their shrewd plans against us. And so this is part 2, sisters and brothers, and we're going to start off with that motivation, that reassurance, and bringing comfort to the mind of the original Black woman, reinforcing the fact that you will be secured and protected, sisters, and how it is that we are about to take back everything that belongs to us, everything. So let's get right into it. All right, sisters. We start off with the motivation, highlighting our victory. Chose this sequence today because before we get into America's destruction and how it's going to affect us and their shrewd plans against us and the cannibal attack that they're planning to make on the original nation, and not only the original nation, however, all blacks in America, which there are 2 groups of blacks. We'll get into that. Before we get into the uncomfortable part, I'd like to start off by laying a foundation, letting you know that you will be secured, sisters. So as we go forward throughout the presentation and different things are being identified about what's happening right now in America, what's to come, and how intense this time of unprecedented trouble that we are stepping into is about to be. Unprecedented trouble, unprecedented times. That means things are going to be happening that you've never seen before and that you will never see again. However, with unprecedented times, that means also unprecedented victory, an unprecedented mission, unprecedented discipline. That's also the other side of that unprecedented times. So this is a great and dreadful time, a great time for us, a dreadful time for them. And yes, they will make a deadly move on our nation. However, we are given all the information we need to successfully navigate the hells of North America, not only physically, however, mentally and emotionally, so that we can overcome this in one piece, unscathed. Not a hair on our head will be harmed. So we start off with the motivation, letting you know that no matter what it is that you're about to see, witness, and experience, as long as you step up and reclaim what belongs to you, claim your reward, which has already been given, the Abrahamic covenant, our vision, apply the discipline, 5 mathematical pillars of Islam, which is our nature. We're disciplined by nature, however, we're acting other than our nature, other than ourselves. And when we become in sync with the unsealed scriptures, which is our mind, then we are in a position and we will succeed 100%, 100% victory. So the scriptures is for us, sisters and brothers. We are in a battle. We're in a boxing match. We know all of our enemy's moves before the enemy makes them. We know our enemy's psychology. We know what's driving our enemy to take these actions against us. So just that information right there is empowering. It is motivational, knowing what it is that the enemy is going to do before he does it. Because we can avoid, we can dodge. All right? And so we will be successful regardless as to what they try to do against us. And we are successful right now. The fact that we are alive today shows the perseverance, the courage, the strength, and the sacrifice of the original Black woman. Because if it wasn't for you, sisters, we would not be able to receive and fulfill the Abrahamic covenant, which is our vision and our inheritance. We saved our nation, sisters. We've been on post for the last 400 plus years, handling business, standing up for our nation in a time of need. So there's a reward for that. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed. So it's about to get very dark. Very dark. However, we have the light, sisters and brothers, the messenger of the covenant, the Lamb, the breaker of the seven seals, the information that he has revealed and is constantly given to us, free of charge, free gift. And we are here reflecting that light. So we have the information. Now, America's lights are about to be turned off permanently, and we'll identify how that's the case. With America's lights being turned off, there will be no resources that's needed to run an economy. So that means famine, total economic destruction, famine in America. However, what does the scriptures tells us? Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says: my servants will eat, but you will starve. My servants will drink, but you will be thirsty. My servants will rejoice, but you will be sad and ashamed. My servants will sing for joy, but you will cry in sorrow and despair. So automatically, there's two sides to this. Those who are successful, those who are secured, and those who are not secured. We are the Lord's servants. And we are here serving our nation. Sisters, we have been doing this for a while. However, the enemy has come against us in a very shrewd way, thinking that they were going to get away with what they have been doing to us because they don't respect or fear consequence. So, when this famine strikes and there is no food, we will eat, we will drink. It identifies how our spirits will be as well. It says we will rejoice while they are sad. So it identifies emotions that we will have. Understand that we discipline our emotions. We don't want to get rid of them. You need emotions. That's part of life. We're not robots. However, discipline emotions. However, what I'm identifying here is that the scriptures is identifying how our emotions are going to be in this time of unprecedented trouble. And that's very inspiring. During a time where there's no food, no water, we're going to eat, we will drink, and we will rejoice, and we will sing for joy. So, this is like an enthusiastic experience. You know, this is enthusiasm here in the right direction. Fired up. Rejoicing. Singing for joy. Sisters, all you have to do is accept what's yours. You don't have anything to worry about. Let's keep moving. Have I not commanded you? This is the book of Joshua. Be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid, nor be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Warrior Queens. In a time of unprecedented trouble, things happening that we never seen before, chaos, mass panic, people going crazy, children gray-headed. But yet, the bottom line for us is that be strong and of good courage. Do not be afraid. That means you're about to be in an intense situation where fear is prevalent for some. But we're being told, do not be afraid. So, do not be afraid nor dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Wherever we go, whatever situation we're in, as we are going through the process of making our exodus out of America, our God is with us. For every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. That's consequence. So, having faith in the mathematics, knowing that as long as you're applying discipline and moving according to your vision with your right mind, we are invincible. They can't touch us. So again, inspiration, motivation. Be courageous. Why is this so important? Why am I reinforcing this idea for the sisters, making this clear? When we identify the destruction that's on its way to America, the destruction that's about to happen to America, and the economic consequences of that destruction. We're here in the land of our imprisonment under the control of these devils. So right now, they provide our food, electricity, water, shelter, everything. Knowing that there's going to be economic destruction right here in America can be very stressful for a mother who doesn't understand what the rest of the scriptures are also saying. Because you might be worried about your children, worried about your children going hungry, your children being afraid, your children seeing things that they never saw before. Scriptures tells us that children will be gray-headed. So that is a high stress situation. However, and so that can also weigh on the sisters. That can weigh, that that is a very heavy weight to carry. That's why it's important to know the other's perspective, the other side of this that identifies our victory and our security, so that you go into it mentally prepared to be victorious, not going into it uncertain or afraid or dismayed. We're going into this nice and strong, and we're coming out nice and strong. So that's why we're here. To give this information and ensure our victory. So this is what we have to look forward to. This is the book of Joshua. This extends to us, warrior queens. Therefore, this is speaking to us as well. Let's keep moving. The book of Daniel. And such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. Right, sisters and brothers, warrior queens. Again, in the time of unprecedented trouble, all of these catastrophic events will be taking place around us. However, we're going to be doing exploits. The strength of our nation will be displayed on full action, full throttle. That's victory. Does it sound like somebody who's been defeated? Does it sound like somebody who's going to be defeated? Not for us. Does it sound like somebody who's gone hungry? No. So again, reassurance, motivation, inspiration. This is what we have to look forward to. Oh, love the Lord, all you his saints. We are the saints, sisters and brothers. For the Lord preserves the faithful and fully repays the proud person. Be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, all you who hope in the Lord. This is speaking directly to us again, warrior queens. Consequence. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. This is the time of judgment, so that means rewards are being given. The reward may be pleasant or deadly. And here in this scripture it says, the Lord fully repays the proud person. That's these devils. Repay, that means that's a reaction for something that they have done. So that's a reward. They get repaid. Now, for the last 400 years, which we'll get deeper into our history, they have afflicted us beyond imagination. And they will fully answer for what they have done to us. On the other side of that, we submitted to these devils. And we served these devils. They afflicted us. While undergoing that affliction, we carried our nation on our back, ensured that our bloodline stayed intact, and that Abraham's seed survived, which we are the evidence of that today. And so, being faithful to our nation is something that is being rewarded as well. There's a reward for that. It shares, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart, all you who hope in the Lord. So, we will be of good courage. What does that mean? Brave, confident. I'm giving synonyms of courage. However, the bottom line is fearless. And he shall strengthen your heart. So that means there's some assistance with that. Not saying that the Lord is doing it for us. However, just us getting this information is assisting us in this process of transitioning from this illusion of the American dream into our reality of the Abrahamic covenant. So, from my perspective, information, knowledge is also a way that we will be strengthened, because knowing what your enemy is going to do before he does it, also knowing that you're going to be victorious, that's inspiring. That's a reassurance that as long as you're on the right side of this, you're going to be 100% successful. So, one thing I want to identify here is that, the way that this world teaches us or has taught us is to be helpless. We're down on our knees, praying to God. We don't understand what prayer is really about, but the way that these devils have presented it to us is a spooky, mystical situation where you're down on your hands and knees, down on your knees, wishing for some mystery God to go into action on your behalf, instead of getting up and handling business, understanding that we are the gods and goddesses in control of ourselves, in control of our lives. So, and what do I mean by that? How are we in control of our lives? We're under the control of these devils. Well, we submitted to them, so we gave them control. However, the time of submission is over. It's time to take our power back. So, understanding that and knowing that, we have the energy and the information to take control of our lives, to take our power back. However, these devils are telling us, just pray, just pray. Louis Farrakhan, the chief demon, is telling us, just pray. Love and trust the God. Trust in God. He can't even tell you who God is. Some spook mystical spirit that doesn't exist. He can't even identify who it is that you are supposed to be praying to. And that's because Farrakhan is a demon, our hidden enemy. He's a devil in black skin. So he's going to be saying the same stuff as his devil fathers. Just pray, go to church, just pray about it, pray on it. Instead of taking control and moving on logic, mathematics, logical and mathematical decisions that have been thought through thoroughly. But they want us to waste our energy, mismanage our energy on our knees, praying to some mystery God. And further keeping us in a deceptive state of mind, which these devils put that deception on us. And another thing about prayer. Sisters, as mothers, we ourselves know that prayer, the way that these devils taught it to us, does not get anything done. It doesn't accomplish anything. Because when your baby has a fever, when your baby has an ear infection, when your baby might break their leg or their arm, you're not sitting around praying. You're researching what the mathematics, what science and logic says to do. And you got a short window of time to get it handled. Because it's an urgent matter. So deep down within, we know that this prayer BS that they're putting on us is exactly that, 100% BS. Something to prevent you from taking control of your own reality. Because once you take control of your own reality, now you have things the way you want it. But they want us to serve them while they control us, and they have things how they want it. They don't want to relinquish control, right? However, we're taking our power back. So it's not about how it is that, what it is that they want for us or don't. It doesn't matter. It identifies why it is that they're dealing with us or trying to deal with us shrewdly. However, the point of the matter is, we know ourselves that that prayer scheme that they're teaching in the church, that Louis Farrakhan has the saints in the NOI on their hands and knees on prayer rugs, praying 5 times a day like a Sunni Muslim. At the end of the day, you have to get up and handle business. And prayer doesn't accomplish that. Not the way that they have taught it to us. So, excuse me. He shall strengthen your heart, all you who hope in the Lord. So identifying that this is not a situation where you're sitting around hoping and you're praying and you're wishing. This is a situation where you're in action, applying discipline, the 5 pillars of Islam, in sync with your vision, the Abrahamic covenant, in sync with your mind, the unsealed scriptures. And doing what needs to be done to overcome these devils. The Quran tells us with difficulty is ease. So that means no matter how hard it is, there's another side to it. There's ease with it. No matter how difficult it is, there's ease as well. So consequence, sisters and brothers. Hope in the Lord. Trust in the mathematics. Get on the right side of this. And you are 100% secured and protected. Let's keep moving. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their vindication is from me. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That means that no matter what weapon they form against us, they will not be successful. No matter how they come at us, no matter how deceptive, shrewd they try to deal with us, none of those weapons will succeed. And you will refute every tongue that accuses you. Let me get the exact definition of refute, sisters and brothers. To refute means to prove a statement, claim, or argument to be false or incorrect through the use of evidence or logical reasoning. So we will refute every tongue that accuses us. That means every tongue that accuses us will be proven to be false, proven to be inaccurate, shown through logic, evidence, logical reasoning. So it means every tongue that even speaks against us, accusing us, will be shut down. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their vindication is from me. Victory, sisters and brothers. What's the definition of vindication? Vindication is the act of proving that someone is innocent, right, or justified, especially after they were previously doubted, blamed, or accused of wrongdoing. So, what is our accuser saying? Our accuser, Louis Farrakhan, he says that we're sinful. He says that we're wicked. He says that we are bees and whores, female dogs and whores. He prays to Allah that the worms eat our ass. We'll get into that in this presentation or on part 2. However, all of that will be proven and is being proven false. All of these accusations that are being made against us is being proven to be a lie. And that we are innocent, justified. We have not done anything wrong. We were told to submit to these devils. That's exactly what we did. So, Farrakhan calling us sinful the way I see it, not sinful, submissive. So, the sister or brother that you may think in your own mind is just doing bad, on the streets, doing drugs or selling drugs, or selling their body, or eating pork, or anything that you may think is bad. But that sister or brother is really submissive, because we were told to submit to these devils and we submitted 100%. So that means we're going to be acting like them. We're going to be taking on their behaviors, taking on their thoughts from being around them. So that is clear that you're not sinful, you're obedient, submissive. However, the time of submission is over. Now we have a different command, which is give them back double. America and all of our enemies, give them back double. And then come out of America and go home to our promised land, Arabia. That's the command. So that submissive sister and brother, because through this last 400 years, we have been made docile. That's what comes along with being submissive, docile and obedient. But that time period is over. And a true Muslim is one who submits himself entirely to the will of Allah. So Allah's will was for us to be submissive, to submit, obedience. So this accusation of us being sinful, of us being wicked and we need to atone and all this other BS is being proven to be a lie, an attack against us on many different levels, attacking our character, attacking our mind, attacking our vision, because he's saying that we ain't going nowhere. We don't deserve a reward because we're sinful. And so all of these things that the devils did to us, they did us a favor. All the affliction they put it through, we deserved it. That's not true. Now, I will make this clear. In a sense, these devils have done us a favor. And how's that true? All of this intense pressure that they put us under produced us into diamonds. All of this intense pressure of being afflicted around the clock relentlessly has formed us into diamonds. So we use everything to our benefit. These devils were told, do not touch that tree. And they touched that tree over and over and over again. However, in them afflicting us, putting their hands on us, putting their seed in our womb, forcing us to give birth to their demon children. We used all of that to our benefit, and it made us stronger. It didn't kill us. It made us stronger, unbreakable, hardest substance on the planet, which is a diamond. So, in a sense, they did do us a favor, but not the way that Louis Farrakhan and the rest of these demons, preachers, democratic party is saying that they civilized us and they did us a favor by bringing us here to America. We didn't ask them to bring us here. So the accuser will be totally shut down. And our vindication is from the Lord. So the Lord is justifying us. Defending our innocence. It's not what Farrakhan is doing. He's defending his devil fathers. So he says that America is good. They're not all bad. And he says the devil could be reformed, and don't even call them devils anymore. So it's clear who's for us and who's against us. However, the bottom line, sisters, is our victory. No weapon formed against us will prosper. And we will be judging those who have and are coming against us. So let me see how I'm going to say this, sisters. Our victory, as I've said in part 1, our victory is written all throughout the scriptures. We wouldn't be given this information if we weren't capable of overcoming these devils. We would not be getting this information if we were not capable of taking our power back. We would not be being given this information if we weren't capable of attaining and fulfilling our victory. So this is our guide. The Unsealed Scriptures is our guide out of America. There's no point in giving you a guide if you're not capable of being successful. So that's it on that part. Let's keep moving as we wrap up here. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply. And if war breaks out, they join our enemies and fight against us and escape from the land. All right. This is the book of Exodus, identifies our enemies' psychological, their mindset towards us, their thoughts, their innermost thoughts, and their fears and their plans. Come, let us deal shrewdly with them. That means they're doing it right in front of us. However, not all of us, because you're waking up, sisters and brothers, and you're getting this information. The light is being reflected. Just the mere fact that we're being told through the unsealed scriptures that they're trying to deal with us shrewdly means that what they thought was a trick is no longer effective. So right there, just being given information on our enemy's mindset against us positions us several steps ahead of them. What is it that they want to prevent? Come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply. So they don't want us reproducing. That's what multiplication is, reproducing our population of Abraham's seed, the original black man and woman right here in America. It shares, and if war breaks out, they join our enemies and fight against us and escape from the land. So there's a level of fear here. They don't want a war to break out. If a war breaks out, they are scared that we will join America's enemies, fight against America, and escape from America. So that right there is an admission of guilt as well, because why are you scared? If you've been doing right by us, you have nothing to fear. However, they know that they have been afflicting us and torturing us and totally dehumanizing us. And they're afraid of us rising up against them, which is exactly what we are doing. And that will magnify our rise, the rise of the original man and woman all over the planet. Because as we see that war in the Middle East, Iran and Syria, that's the original man and woman as well. That's our brothers. On the paternal side, we have the same father, therefore the same bloodline. Iran and Syria are original. They are also the original man and woman. And they're rising up against America, Britain, false Israel, the House of Assad, in defense of the original nation. So back over here to America, they're afraid of us rising up against them and escaping from the land. However, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to rise up against them and we're going to escape. Okay, and another thing, escape, that means we're being held captive. So another admission of guilt. They're guilty of holding us captive in the land of our imprisonment, holding us hostage. So they know that they have afflicted us and they know that they're holding us hostage. They're scared of that chain being broken. We're not free, sisters and brothers. You think you have freedom of speech. You think you have freedom to move around. You think you have freedom to vote and all this stuff. You don't have any freedom here. Because they are controlling everything. Freedom of speech, that's not true. As soon as you start speaking the truth, they don't like it. They try to shut you down. So that's a contradiction of what they say, freedom of speech. We know that their laws, they don't follow their own laws. However, those laws are not for us anyways, never in our favor. We are constituted as 3/5 human through the U.S. Constitution. That means we're classified as animals, and animals are not on the level as humans. They say that there's animal rights, however, that way that they have us classified, we don't have any rights at all. We are lower than animals to them. A cat and a dog, their pets have more rights than we do. So here they are admitting that they have done us wrong. They're admitting that they're holding us captive, holding us hostage. And they're admitting that they have tried to prevent us from reproducing, trying to prevent us from having a large population. So in part 2, sisters and brothers, we're going to identify some of their shrewd plans against us, which none of those plans will succeed. We're going to identify how they tried to prevent us from multiplying, and how it is that they will prevent us from escaping America. And the fact that all of their plans are and will continue to be intercepted, and they will not be successful. All of their plans against us is going to backfire on them. So in part 2, we'll go deeper into identifying these different parts of this scripture and what it is that our enemy's plans is against us. However, we are in part 2, part 3, make that clear. Our victory. Victory is ours. And the motivation and inspiration that's being given throughout the unsealed scriptures is proof that we overcame all of their shrewd plans. It's proof that they weren't successful in preventing our multiplication. Our victory that's identified in the scriptures is proof that we came together as a strong, mighty army. And we escaped. We made our exodus of America. So that's what we have to look forward to. And that is what we are carrying out and fulfilling. And we will see our vision continue to magnify and grow. So with that, sisters and brothers, thank you for having me. I will be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.